Hello, guys. I'm Greg. This is Stephanie. This is our podcast, Living in Key West. We're both real estate agents here in the Florida Keys, so if you are thinking of buying, selling, or need rental property management, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be more than happy to help you. Stephanie?
Yeah.
It's been a fun and exciting week, busy week.
It has.
I feel like the other day we were thinking it was Sunday, but it was really only going to be Saturday. So we were a little behind on that. But what's going on in the world of Stephanie?
Well, there's a lot going on. Tentatively, well, not tentatively, as of right now, we are going to record this, and then we're going to head
We're
out.
going to scoop boot and boogie.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you know us at all, or are part of our universe at all, you know, like, we are not really goer-outers. Kind of. But we like to go out to lunch most of the time rather than dinner. Like, we go out during the day, and then typically by the evening, we like to be settled down.
And just chill.
Just chill with our girls. We don't really go out a lot at night, but
It's going to be 2 times in a row.
yeah. So tonight, after we get done doing our podcast here, recording our podcast, we are headed out to the final night of the Songwriters Fest. It's like they're calling it like the encore. So it's like some of the best, I guess, or like headliners from the week. And they're doing like a concert. So we're going to that. We were gifted VIP tickets. So it's got like an open bar. There's VIP seating. So we're going to go check it out and
see what it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know how late we'll stay out, but
yeah, we'll see.
we may stay through the whole thing.
We don't know.
We may fall asleep.
We might.
I don't know where the night's going to take us.
Exactly.
So,
so we're going to go do that. But it has been an incredibly busy week. A lot of stuff going on the island. The Songwriters Fest has really been sort of the big thing that's happening on the island. So like Friday, we were invited to go to a private residence that had a private concert going on. And we got to see 5 singer-songwriters perform like an hour-long set. So they all got up and just sang with their acoustic guitars, and they did like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 songs each of their own original songs that they've written. And they were all young women, and they were all amazing. Like, truly, really, really fantastic. Good. So I was very impressed. And it was just really cool to like go, again, if you have listened to us at all, I am not a loud spaces person. It's too much for me. So like concerts are really not my thing. It's too much. Like clubs, like that's just, it's tough for me. But this was really nice because it was like poolside.
Yep.
It was sort of in the morning.
Acoustic, so, I mean,
it was acoustic. It wasn't plugged in anything. There wasn't big speakers. It was just a person with a guitar, and they sang these like amazing songs that they wrote. So I thought that was really enjoyable as well. And I was really grateful we got invited to do that too. So that was cool. So the Songwriters Fest has been the big thing on the island.
That's been going on all week, and it ends tonight.
Yeah.
It's 6:30 now. We're going to try to this can be hopefully a shorter podcast, and then we're just going to change and go, would be my guess. But, because you can get there at 7.
Yep.
And it starts at 8. So we'll probably get there close to 7 because we want to go live on TikTok. So we want to, I don't know if we'll be able to go live inside, but
we'll see.
Definitely outside. I imagine it's going to be a little busy.
Yeah.
So that's what we got going on here in about 30 minutes.
Yep, absolutely.
And we did something last night that was absolutely incredible.
It was.
In my opinion.
It was, in my opinion.
IMHO.
It was the best date that we've ever been on. That's my opinion.
Dang, after 14 years.
I
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and also probably the best meal we've ever had. It was amazing.
And biggest surprise you've ever had.
Truly. The only other time that Greg has surprised me, I think, I mean, I'm sure there's other times, but like big surprises, the only other time Greg surprised me is when he proposed to me. Otherwise, most of the time I either guess it or actually, occasionally I'll guess it. Most of the time Greg gets too excited and can't keep a secret, so he just tells me.
Facts.
It's facts, yeah. But this one, he planned and he kept it under his hat for several days, and I guess I never guessed it right. He never told me, but I never guessed it right technically. I really genuinely was super surprised. So.
And it was incredible.
It was incredible. We haven't even said what it was.
Suggest going on this adventure we went on.
And we just keep talking about it.
Moving on to the next thing. No.
Do not miss it.
But you do not want to miss it. It was literally probably the best thing that we've ever done here in our entire lives. So now we're moving on to the House of the Week.
That would be funny.
No, I'm just playing with you guys. We went to Little Palm Island. They just opened it back up for non-residents, guests.
Yeah.
To go there. So Little Palm Island is a 5-star resort that you have to take a boat to. And it's actually a really cool boat, the one that we were on.
It's an island.
It's an island.
Yeah.
And some people may remember it from when it had its incredible brunch. It was very well known for its brunch that it did. They haven't done that in a while, but so we did that. They just opened it back up. I saw that they did. I pounced and set it up for Friday night. And we got there. Stephanie was surprised, which was really my main goal. I didn't really know what to expect because there's not a lot on their website about anything really. Reservations were, you have to email them.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth through email. And then we got there. It was an incredible just where the boathouse is, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
It's where you go in, you check in, and then you wait for the boat and you'll go across. Was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Inside and outside. So you can sit inside and wait in like an air-conditioned area, or you can sit outside like by the dock, but it's not like the dock that you're thinking of. It's like covered. It has beautiful furniture and beautiful light fixture, and like it's just everything's so high end and beautiful, and everyone is very kind and accommodating. Like truly, like very very nice. It's
literally a 5-star.
It was 5-star
hotel or whatever you'd want to call it, but
resort, maybe.
Yeah. But it was 5-star throughout the entire
5-star
from
service.
Walking in the door,
yes, absolutely.
We were
out because we parked. We haven't been there before, so we parked, and then there was like a building, but we didn't know
if that was like a bungalow or
like,
what.
Is this just like a business office? We were just loitering. And we were just like outside, and the guy came and he's like, "Oh, are you joining us for dinner?" Like he came out and got us, welcomed us in. You know, it was just he was very kind. Updated us on like timing when the ferry would be here, when we'd be departing. So then we went and got on the ferry.
Well, I chose the 6:30 dinner. So there's 5:30 or 6:30, and we ended up getting back to the docks probably about 9:45.
Yeah.
Like back to the mainland, we'll call it, at about 9:45. So we were there for a while. They don't rush you at all.
No, they do not.
Like actually the opposite of that. And they have limited seating. So it's not like they're just like, they're taking 100 people every.
Right.
It's like they would like to do like 10 people at the 5:30 and 10 people at nighttime.
Right.
Or the 6:30, and the rest is for their guests. So, but it was incredible.
It was incredible. So you get on the ferry. So it's actually, there's 2 ferries, but we got to go on the cooler of the 2 ferries.
We did. The Truman,
which is like a replica vintage, like those little wood boats.
And if you go watch your video, you can see it.
Yeah, I just did a TikTok about it, so you can see all the video of this. So adorable little boat you get on, and it's probably a 10-minute boat ride. And it's just like across the channel, and to
Little Palm Island.
You pull up, they greet you at the dock, walk you down, and then you can go up, and then you can either sit inside or outside. So we obviously sat outside. It was sunset. It was so beautiful, and so we sat down, and one of the first things was we heard like a little noise when we first got there, and I looked over, and kind of like behind us, like but in the corner, there was 2 people at like this little private table, and there was a little key deer over there, which we had no idea. I did not know there were key. Did you know before?
I did not know there was key deer.
You just saw because you went back on their Instagram.
I went back
and saw,
today and saw it.
You didn't know ahead of time. So we were like, oh my gosh, we had no idea there were key deer on this island. So
so you go to like Little Torch, which is near Big Pine, which is where most of the key deer are. There are some on Ramrod and is it Sugarloafs? No.
Yeah.
But most of them are Big Pine. But this is an island by itself, so I didn't have any clue that they'd be out there.
Yeah. So there's the one little key deer. So we were like, oh, that's cool. You know, whatever. And then
Those people got engaged, by the way.
they did get engaged. Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Amazing place to get engaged. Some people were taking like engagement photos. Amazing place to take engagement photos. So we sat down. So then our server, Tim, who was incredible, like so kind, so accommodating, like just
Tim did a great job.
He did a great job. But then there was like there was a couple of runners and a guy who filled our water, all incredibly kind.
It was constant, man. They're getting their exercise. They're walking. They're essentially, if the water's low, if you
need more
your
bread,
plate's done, if you need more anything, it's like, it's 5-star.
Yeah, it's 5-star.
Keep coming back to that.
And I think too, like, you know, there are places where like the people run constantly, right? And that's fine and that's good. But I have never been to a place where every single person is like genuinely kind and helpful and warm. And so like they're doing a good job and they're working their butt off, but they're also like pleasant while they're doing it. And I don't remember ever being at a place where everyone was really like truly genuinely like that kind. So they were just all really engaging and sweet and like, yeah, it was just a really good experience. Good vibe. That's what, like, it just felt like a great vibe.
From start to finish. Once again, walking in the door.
Yep. Absolutely.
To literally getting into our car.
Absolutely. So the way that it works is you pay like a flat rate and you get 2, and I don't know if it'll be like this forever, but this was our experience.
Yeah, this was our experience.
So you get, and also, by the way, we chose to sit outside. The inside was also beautiful. So if you choose to sit inside, like there's no, absolutely like.
So disclaimer, there were no-see-ums and there were mosquitoes. I know some people have really bad reactions to no-see-ums. So if you're one of those people, I would
consider
not
sitting
sit outside.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a strong wind, sure.
Right.
Put some bug spray on and see if you can go out there and not get bit. But I know some people have like really bad reactions.
Yeah.
But we were getting bit. I was. Stephanie wasn't getting bit that bad. I was getting bit pretty like constant. And I said, hey, do you got some bug spray? Boom. Before you knew it, DEET free.
Yeah. It was like the nice, like essential
oils, and it worked.
And he was even like apologetic because we had our own little hand sanitizer on the table that was just sitting there. And he was like, oh, yeah, we do have it. I thought that's what that was. Like, he felt like bad that he hadn't previously offered it because he thought we already had it because we had our hand sanitizer on the table. So, again, just like really kind and immediately, like anything you asked for. So this, I think, was like, to me, this is a huge thing. So we're gluten-free.
Oh, gosh.
So they came up to the table and, you know, they got our drink orders or whatever. And they're like, are you interested in bread service? And, you know, we've had this conversation 100 times
we're like,
restaurants. We love it, but we're gluten-free, you know, and every single time we've ever had this conversation before, the waiter goes, oh, okay. And they walk away. And he was like, oh, no problem. We have gluten-free bread service. I mean, legitimately, my jaw dropped.
Well, I was like, no. You clearly didn't hear us.
We're gluten-free.
So don't worry about that bread. And he's like, I know. Yeah. We have it.
Yeah. So, but, and I fully was anticipating it would have been
like
happy.
Udi's toast.
Like literal Udi's toast points, like butter, like toast with like a little pat of butter. I would have been so happy to like have that. It was not. It was, so the first bread service we got was homemade, the most tender, flaky, incredible biscuits, but they had apples in them. So good.
Only thing I would have changed, Little Palm Island, is done like a
honey butter or like a cinnamon butter
or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been good, like a flavored butter. But I am not complaining.
I still ate it though.
So good, and just such a. They did not phone it in because it was gluten free. A lot of times, if it's gluten free, it's like, well, you get something and you'll be happy with it, and like it wasn't.
Never get it. This or is you don't get it. This is like. This is the only time we've ever had where we said we're gluten free for bread, and they brought out like nice.
I don't think that we've ever been somewhere where
bread.
They had bread and they brought anything, much less something good. That's what I'm saying. Like our expectations were so low because of the experiences we've had when you are at a restaurant and you say you're gluten free as far as bread. We truly were like, if they had like bread from the grocery store that they put in the toaster and gave us some butter, we would have been like, that's, I mean, more than you get anywhere else. So the fact that they had it and it was this homemade delicious, and a biscuit that, in my opinion, you could put it up against a non-gluten-free biscuit and you would not be able to tell the difference because it was that like delicious.
It was good.
So that knocked our socks off from the begetting. We were like,
but
what?
not only that, we ate those, and then he's like, "Do you want more bread?" And we're like, "We're taking advantage of it." So
Yeah.
he's like, "We're like, yeah." It was a totally different one. It was like an olive.
It was like an olive oil and herb focaccia. So it was warm, tender, like so good. I mean, truly, like if you
We're
are
reliving this just in case you guys haven't noticed.
well, if you're gluten-free, if you're not gluten-free,
if you're gluten free, you get it.
you get it. If you're not gluten-free, then you understand that bread, they've got it to, some of them are fairly convincing, but most of the time you have to toast it. If it's toasted, it's fine. Like you could do like a grilled cheese on gluten-free bread and you don't miss
cinnamon toast.
Yeah, anything toasted. But if it's like soft, flaky, yummy, truly like bread products, that doesn't exist.
No.
For the most part. So the fact that they had it was outstanding, and they were so accommodating, so understanding about all of our gluten-free. So anyway, so we got bread service, and then the way that it works is, like I said, flat fee, and it was 2 appetizers each.
Yep.
1 entree each.
Yep.
1 dessert each.
Yep.
So they had a bunch of different appetizers you could choose from. And they had one on there that was a king crab leg that technically counted as 2, and we wanted that. So we got 3 starters between the 2 of us. So we got the king crab leg, this amazing spinach salad.
It was best spinach salad I've ever had.
So fresh, so delicious. It
Little beautiful bacon strips on there.
Yes, blue cheese, Granny Smith apple, and some sort of like vinaigrette.
Some good vinaigrette.
It was so good. You could just tell, like, super fresh, like, high-quality ingredients. And then we got, the ceviche.
Triple tail ceviche.
Which you have never had, right?
I've never had triple tail.
I haven't either, but, like, I figured maybe you'd eaten something.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it was very good. Very, extremely limey, which we like. And it came with, interestingly, homemade sweet potato chips that you use to eat it. And I thought the sweet potato with the ceviche was phenomenal. Yeah.
Bye, Winnie.
So those are our 3 starters. They were so good. You got some sort of like whiskey cocktail, something or other.
Yep. That was pretty good. It's called a Kentucky Kick, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something like that. But it had, I think it had Makers in it.
It had Makers,
strawberry, lemon juice,
ginger beer,
and it had Fiverr's ginger beer.
Yeah, it was very good.
Or Fevers or whatever it is.
Fever Tree.
Yeah. It was very good.
Yeah, and then I got a margarita, also very good. And then our entrees, I got the braised, why am I blanking?
Short rib.
Short rib, yes. Braised short rib that came with like cheddar potatoes, mashed potatoes, and like little
fresh
mushrooms. Yep, very good. And then Greg got the strip steak.
New York
strip. Had an incredible crust on the outside.
It did. It was perfectly thick.
It was very thick.
So usually a lot of times when you go to restaurants, and if it's that thick, you're like, they don't cook it like it's like you say medium, and it's medium on the outside, but then it's like a little rare on the inside, which I don't like. I wanted it medium. It was perfectly cooked.
It was perfect.
Throughout. Little fingerling potatoes, and that was it on mine. Some type of sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know what the sauce was, but truthfully, it was probably one of the best steaks I've ever had at a restaurant.
Yeah, it was very good. Did you like mine or yours better? Or you can't pick?
They're a little different.
I know.
Yours was phenomenal, and so was my steak.
Yeah.
And we actually had some left over, and I had hers for lunch, and we had the steak for dinner. So we did eggs and steak. It
was great the second day, too.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then, so by that time,
dessert.
It was like,
I can't even be here for that because I want it. Right now.
So while we're there, if you go watch the TikTok video, we had multiple visits from the key deer. So the original key deer who we were seeing was the baby. It was a little girl baby, and she was just very interested in what we were all doing. She was not scared. She just came up and she was like sniffing the air, and she was kind of interested in what we had going on our table. She was a little it was good because she was a little naturally like keeping a little bit of distance, but she was not like terrified or anything. And she was just kind of poking around. And then she came back later and she brought mom with her. And so it was mom and baby.
Right at sunset.
Sunset.
It was magical.
It was magical.
It was incredible.
It was. Mom was she was over at our neighbor table. Next to us was another couple.
Yep.
And we heard like a little clamor and we looked over and mom, because she was, baby was like shorter than the table. Mom was as tall as the table. Mom was trying to, she was helping herself.
She was trying to snag that bread from our neighbors.
Rolls on their table and she had her nose up. She was trying to get the rolls and then they had some oysters. She thought she was going to have an oyster or something. He was like, no, get out of here. Once it came to the oysters, he was like, get out of here. But they just stayed around and they were, it was just the most incredible. And it was sun. And
the sun was going down. So you had sunset.
You had sunset.
Unobstructed views. If you go watch our video, you'll see it.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I'm sure I'll put some up here on this. And
so then we get to the end of the meal. It's like 8:45.
This was close.
Yes, it was like 8:45. Now, and Greg, you kind of mentioned this. Tim and everyone there, they were not rushing us. Like in any way, shape, or form. So they kept saying, like, take your time.
Do you actually? No, we left out. You had a
intermezzo.
Mm-hmm. For those of you that don't know, it's essentially an intermission between your starters and your cocktails and your entree. And they brought out what I would say is probably a palate cleanser. Was a hibiscus pomegranate, like little slushy, delicious also.
It was so good. It was just like a little
shooter.
One bite and it cleansed the palate. And then we sat there and enjoyed sunset and some more cocktails and chatting and watching the little baby deers. And then the sun went down. But they weren't
rushing you.
No.
Us, so it's 8:45.
Yep. So it's 8:45 and Tim comes up and he's like, do you guys want to have dessert here? Do you want to take it to go? And we were like, and then he said, I didn't know if you wanted to catch the ferry. It leaves at 9. And Greg was like, we could jump on the next,
9:30.
Greg
thought it was every 30 minutes. But
he's like, we can just, if we want to sit here and eat, we can just go on the 9:30. And he's like, oh no, the next one's not till 10. We were like, okay, we're need to get
talking back that. Let's get on out of here. Bring us our bill, please.
Yeah. So, he said, I've got key lime pie. And I was like, is it gluten-free? He's like, we can do that for you. And like everything was like, yes, like you were saying, like there was no no.
Like, I actually never heard any no's.
Right. Oh yeah. And on my entree, I had fried onions on the top and those are like almost never gluten-free.
This is how easy it is to do things gluten-free for all you chefs out there.
And I said, just to double check, are the onions gluten-free? And he's like, they are, but he said, let me go double check with the chef. I just want to make triple sure. And he came back out. He said, yes, they are gluten-free. And we fried them in a separate fryer.
Yeah.
Yes. So like over and above gluten-free. So that was gluten-free. So then he said yes to the key lime pie. And then he said, we might have a creme brulee that I can do to go as well. I said, well, that's what I would want, a creme brulee and a key lime pie, and I don't think they were able to do the creme brulee.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have traveled.
Yeah, So I think it was probably in like a glass container, and they couldn't. But they packed us up 2 key lime pies, which we could not eat because we were so stuffed by the time we
didn't have time. Oh yeah, but when we got home, it was bedtime anyway.
Yeah, so we were like, we're gonna have them for breakfast, and we did, and they were.
Let me just say. It's not a Key West key lime pie, so this doesn't go into our best key lime pie. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the best key lime pies.
It was good.
And to be fair, it had the gluten-free crust, which was almost like I don't even know what it was.
It was kind of more like cookie-ish.
It was a flaky, breadish.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't like a compact graham cracker crust. It was round, first of all, but it was like, it was almost like an airier, like cookie. Flaky.
It was almost like a croissant-ish.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't gluten-free.
Yeah.
We were told it was.
Yeah.
And it had like
It had a passion fruit, like they had scooped out passion fruit and like put that on the top too.
And but it was like, it was phenomenal.
It was so good.
It was one of the best pieces of key lime pie I've ever had.
Excellent. So Greg ate his, and then when we got back from our walk this morning,
Greg ate the second one.
Yeah, so I had mine, but I shared with Greg. But Greg was like, "You're not a big like key lime pie. Like,
no,
some people are like crazy for key lime pie. You are not that way, but this one you were like,
I do like Bill's at the key lime.
You do, yeah. But like
bakery,
some people are like crazy. It's like, you know, any key lime pie that's like they love key lime pie. You're not like that.
No.
So for you to love this key lime pie, like I think that speaks volumes. So
speaking of that, I need to get some more chocolate key lime pies.
Yes, you do, Bill. If you're listening,
Bill.
Yeah. So all in all,
15 out of 10. I mean,
it was great. Definitely, if you're here in Key West or in the Florida Keys and you want to do something special,
super special honeymoon, just celebrating anything.
Yep.
Highly consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Also factor into your budget.
Yeah, that's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I didn't have any clue how much it was when we went.
They don't really tell you.
They don't tell you, but
it's a 5-star restaurant with a fixed menu.
5 stars equals
factor that
something. So,
but it's an experience. It's a core memory. It's truly
it was our best date. Apparently,
it was amazing. No, it was amazing. And like go at the time when we went. This time of year anyways, because like we got the sunset once. I mean, in fairness, probably once it hits like July, it might be pretty hot at that time.
But they might bring fans out or something. I'm sure they do something because there was accommodation.
But being there, right there around that like 6:30, 7 o'clock when the sun is starting to go down, we got to enjoy seeing the sun go all the way down over the water. And like, you know, they have like the birds out there and the fish are jumping and there's, you know, boats going by. It was just picturesque.
So this podcast has just turned into an infomercial for Little Palm Island.
Yeah.
Guys, we know you're listening, Little Palm Island. We would like 10%, please.
No, but also the other thing is, I think Greg alluded to this obviously, but it's not like a massive amount of reservations that they're taking. And they're just rolling it out. I imagine that as people start to hear about it, like we were there, we ran into some people that we knew or that I knew, and they had been there. They were like, "Oh, have you guys been here before?" And they were like, "Yeah, we were here 20 years ago." But then in the past several years, she said she's wanted to come back, but she hasn't been able to because I think it was because Irma hit and then COVID. Yeah. So like, I think that this is just the first time in like at least 5 years that they've opened it up for people who are not staying at the resort to dine there. So I think once people start to hear about it, they're going to. So
especially like, man, if you're getting engaged, or you are there for a honeymoon, are here for a honeymoon and a big anniversary, I mean, anything like that.
Yeah.
I would highly suggest this. It is about a 35-40 minute drive from Key West, so factor that into your time. And then once again, budget accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you want to do it, I would say make reservations sooner rather than later because, I think it'll probably start to pick up some steam more than likely.
All right. Well, this has turned into a much longer podcast, but hey, when you're talking about food, how can it not just... and that was a phenomenal night.
And Key Deer.
A 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have been better if I was with anyone else.
Except our babies.
Besides Winnie and Perry. All right. I want to spit fire here of what's going on this coming up week.
Oh, okay. So there's just a couple of things. So, well, actually, I'll just say 2 things. The USS Higbee, which is the naval, I think it's a destroyer, whatever, that's being commissioned in Key West this week on the 13th. There's a community concert with Howard Livingston on the 10th. It includes Cliff Cody, American Idol singer, songwriter Kristen McNamara, and headliner Howard Livingston and the Mile Marker 24 band. Tickets are $10. They're available online. Active military are free, as are children under 12. Food and drinks available for purchase. Doors open at 12. It's on 21 Quay Road. So at the Coffee Butler Amphitheater. So go online, just Google USS Higbee Community Concert with Howard Livingston. So that's on the 10th, and then the 13th is when they're actually doing the commissioning. I did just see, which I didn't notice before, that you do have to have tickets. I think there was like a lot of interest, and you're supposed to have gotten tickets by the 1st, but
we didn't get tickets.
Yeah, but we actually saw the USS Higbee this morning when we were on our walk. So it's already here, and it's parked right there at the Truman waterfront. So I imagine you're going to be able to see, hear, and experience. I'm thinking potentially the commissioning just by being in the waterfront park.
Okay.
So that's on the 13th. So that's kind of the big thing this week. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of other little things, but that's the big thing going on this week.
All right. So house of the week, and we are going to do these very fast. So I will link them. So we're not going to go into full detail. Nope. We're just going to give you the stats.
Yep.
First one is in Conchs. It is listed at 15 million. But what's really cool about this is it's right now it's called like Conchs Cottages or something. So there's I think 15 properties. So go ahead, Stephanie, because I'm not doing it justice.
So it's in total, it's 31 bedrooms, 19 full baths. So it's located on Conchs Key, only 20 miles from Key West. Transient use property, so nightly rentals. Over 3.5 acres, which is wild in the Florida Keys. 15 units, so 15 ROGO exemptions. Over 300 feet of water frontage, boat basin, 3 concrete docks, 1 wooden dock. Excellent rental history, shared coin laundry, 2 swimming pools, 2 parcels on US 1 are zoned suburban commercial.
So that could be
3 private
really
driveways.
Cool.
If you have a vision for it, there's a lot of potential here. You
can turn this into Little Palm Island, but in Conchs Keys. Yeah,
exactly. So that's that one.
So that one's cool. 15 million.
Yep. Would love to sell it to you.
Yeah.
All right. So our next property is located in Key West. It is 524 Southern Street. And it just went on the market a little earlier this week. It is 2 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, which is weird for it to be like that. Normally it's more bedrooms.
Is it a 2.5 though?
It doesn't say that.
Huh.
It says it's a 2-3.
Well, this is also like a mixed use one, I think. I think there's commercial up in the front.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to reread it. But it's got beautiful flooring. It's a beautiful little space. It looks like it's in a great location. It's listed at what?
It's listed at 3.199.
So
almost 3.2.
Yeah.
So, and it's a little over 2,200 square feet, which is, so 2,200 square feet of interior space, office space, and a spacious backyard with a heated and chilled pool and water feature. So
that could be a really cool place to purchase and live at, but have your office in the front. It could be really cool.
It has 14-foot high ceilings, which is really nice in the living dining area. Big gourmet kitchen. Half a block to Duval Street.
Yeah.
Quick bike ride to the Truman waterfront. I mean, it has 2 off-street parking spaces. Essential in Old Town, especially.
That's worth it's $1 million each.
A whole house Kubota generator. Hello, X-Flood, which is the best flood. Transient license receivership zone.
So you just have to get the license. If you wanted to rent it out.
If you wanted to rent it out and you wanted to do it for nightlies, you are in the receivership zone, which as a reminder means if you found a transient license for sale on MLS or someone was selling one, you could buy it and you could put it on your house and you could do nightly rentals at
which
that
could bring
point,
in a lot of
money. And it's really nice with the 2 off-street parking as well, which, if you had that's so interesting property, nice in Old Town, just went on the market earlier this week. It's a little over $1,400 a square foot. Might be a little, but
the mixed use, I think, is what the
and the transient receivership
zone. Zone, which is what's putting it at that price. So
so if you want to talk about it, we'd love to talk to you about it.
Hit us up, let us know.
Absolutely.
There you go. We talked a lot about Little Palm Island, rightfully so.
Yes,
it was an unbelievable experience and excellent cuisine.
Yes.
And just all around a great time.
Oh, I think I should also say we should also do 2 small updates. One is Winnie and Perry went to the vet last week. I think we said that last week on our podcast. Everyone got a 100% A+ clean bill of health. Thank goodness.
Okay.
We're so grateful. Anyone who cares. And then we also talked about we were going to do the Hurricane Hunter tour event that was in Marathon. It got canceled. There was some mechanical issues with the plane, and so they couldn't make it here. So that's why we didn't talk about that at all. I know we were pretty disappointed. But anyway, so that's that. Okay.
All right, guys. We really appreciate you hopping on and watching this with us. Or not with us. Just thanks for watching. I mean, we are watching it. We're watching it together. Thank you for watching. We're both real estate agents. Hit us up if you want to buy, sell, or have your property managed. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.